These are not the happy books that Victoria Thompson books were. We are on book 3 of the Nancy Herriman series, and it's just we sorry, we started with no comfort for the lost, no pity for the dead. This is the last physical book. The rest are going to be ebooks. So let's talk about this. They're not. I'm feeling really bad for Owen. I'm feeling really bad for Nick Greaves. I don't like emotional heartstring tugging. I just don't. But I want to see where it goes. I don't like some of the decisions Celia is making. She's not working with Nicholas Brandt as Sarah Brandt was in some cases. It's just not, they're not forming the partnership that Sarah Brandt and Frank Malloy were forming later on. I am enjoying Taylor and Mulcahy's interactions. There are other fellow cops. Celia is a nurse. She nurses people for free. So she has a few dollars. I guess she's getting a monthly inheritance of some kind. The fact that she could afford to pay a detective $5. That's a tremendous amount of money for somebody in 1867. A tremendous amount of money. And I'm still not comfortable. I'm trying to get comfortable with the California thing. I'm still used to all my New York Gilded Age books, but this takes place about 30 years earlier, say 1867. And Celia is a nurse, and I don't like her interaction between her and Barbara, her ward. She shipped her ward off to the Hutchinsons, a family, friends of hers, to stay. They have a little bit of money. And Barbara felt that she had been kicked to the curb for her safety, yet she kept the housekeeper and Owen in the house because he was sick. And Mr. Graves, I keep hoping for Mr. Graves to take Owen in and not make Owen live on his own. He's only about 14 years old. Owen keeps hoping that Celia will take him in, but she doesn't want a boy in a house full of women that they're not related to. She doesn't want the neighbors to talk. So it's just. So I'm hoping Mr. Graves will eventually take Owen in and work with him or do something with him. So we have a little seance thing going on here. And Sarah Thompson and Frank Malloy tried this out. But they were like knee deep into the series. It was in the teens or 20s with the books. And her mom went with her, and Frank Malloy went at some point. But she's not working with Graves. She's doing her separate investigation. And Nick is doing his separate investigation, so they're not really working together. Once in a while, they'll combine information. She'll tell him what she's been up to. What have you been up to today? Huh? So they're not working as closely as I would like them to do. Also in the last book, we learned this guy in the red vest, Griffin, believes 100% that Celia's husband is alive and owes him a great deal of money, and he's threatening Celia, but Celia was convinced and had been given documentation proof that her husband was deceased. She had received a death certificate. But the detective, Mr. Smith, wrote her a note saying, I have new information, critical information that you must receive immediately. Come see me. And he was killed before she got a chance to go see him. So, and then she went through all his file cabinets and couldn't find anything. But apparently somebody got there first and removed some pertinent information for her. So she does work with Taylor a few times, the assistant. And he reminds me a little bit of Gino from the Victoria Thompson series. And I just feel bad. I feel I don't know. Her and Nick's relationship isn't developing like I would like. I'm worried about poor Owen all the time. Barbara has an attitude. She's half Chinese, and she gets bothered by the racists and bigots in the area. But I don't like the fact that Celia shipped her off for 90% of the book. And she is becoming more and more close with Miss Hutchinson, which is good. I guess she's going to be another recurring character. So we have Nick, our detective, and then Taylor and Mulcahy that work with him. Celia's our nurse, and she had hired the detective to find her husband or find information about her husband, and she'd paying him $5, and she had no qualms about paying him $5. So she, but like I said, before she had a chance to go visit him, he was discovered dead, and he died during the 4th of July festivities. And there was a question about whether or not he was dead, but the coroner says there wasn't enough alcohol to have fallen, and the window ledge was a little too high for a trip and fall. So we try and figure out who pushed Mr. Smith, and then he has a couple of missing persons he's looking for, and there's some stuff going on, Mr. Griffin. I'd really like to know more information about this. That's like a subplot that's going to be continuing, a progression thing, and I like progression. But I'm still worried about the stuff with Patrick, and her husband who's deceased or may not be deceased, and Griffin. What's going on there? I still I know I said this before, but I can't help keep saying it, that Owen should take Griffin in. Griffin should take Owen in. I mean Greaves. Nick Greaves should take Owen in. But apparently Owen also knows Mr. Griffin, has had dealings with him in the past. So they have a relationship too. So that should prove interesting in the next book or so. But we spend most of the time trying to figure out who killed Mr. Smith, gathering all our suspects up, pointing the finger 6 ways to Sunday at all these different people. She is good, though, at coming out with a suspect out of left field. I mean, she's got suspect. Oh, look, he did it. Oh, look, he did it. Oh, look, she did it. Oh, look, he did it. And she points the fingers with substantial reasoning to point the finger at these people. There's substantial information there. And then she comes around the corner at the end and goes, "Ha! I gotcha!" And then you get a chapter of extremely detailed, specific info. Sometimes it gets to be a little much. I'm glad that she gives us this information. I'm happy that she does provide this information. This very, very detailed information. But it is a lot. It is a very substantial, thick information about the who, why, what, the killer come clean situation. And it's the victim come clean situation. It's the victim that coughs up all the information here. And it's like, well, this happened, and then this happened, and then I thought it was this, but I tried to do this for this, and this, and this, and this, and then it turned out I was completely wrong, so I had to do this, this, and this. So it's a very heavy explanation there. She does have an author forward or whatever at the back, but seances. Like I said, Mrs. Victoria Thompson also touched on that a little bit. But so check it out. You have to find out who murdered Mr. Smith, and your main characters, of course, is Celia, and then Addie is the housekeeper, And then, of course, Barbara is the ward that she shipped off that I really don't think she should have shipped off. She shipped her off almost 90% of the book. She talks to Mrs. Douglas, the chairperson of the Ladies' Society of Christian Aid, who doesn't like her because she's got the half Chinese girl as her ward. I don't know why. We've got our detective, Nick Greaves. We've got J.E. Taylor, our assistant. We've got Officer Mulhahey. We've got our undertaker, Atkins Macy. We got our coroner, Dr. Harris. She talks about the uncle quite often. He is deceased. We have not heard about her brother-in-law since the first book. Grace Hutchinson is a friend of Barbara's, and Jane is her mom. We haven't seen much of the father, Frank Hutchinson, lately. Just a lot of Jane. And then, of course, Owen. And we don't... I'm gonna have to go back and double check the last page or two, but we don't find out what happened to Miss Wheaton, and I really want to know what happened to her. That's gonna bother me now. Let's see, wait a second. Okay, I found it. It was on the last page. Okay, so we got her resolution. At least I must have missed that. I was too busy mourning Nicholas, too busy mourning the breakup, too busy mourning the potential of Patrick being alive. Just see that part. But I'm glad I saw the Pat, because it would have bothered me all day. So, if you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Have a good one.